Entitlement reaches all walks of life, as you'll find out in this episode of Entitled People. Our first one is from Ohio Anna. I'm a hiring manager at a neighborhood branch of a big library system. We get a lot of folks interested in working at the library for any number of reasons. Sometimes they truly love the mission. They have experience in education but want to shift out of the classroom. They have English degrees and have no idea how to use them, etc. Sometimes we just get people who apply because they live nearby. They want to walk to work, and our pay is decent. Not great, but decent. I do like hiring people with a connection to the community we serve, but your reason has to be better than, "I want an easy commute." I always try to be straight with people about their chances, because we get a lot of applications for each job opening. If you don't have relevant experience or a related degree, it's probably not going to happen. I'm always happy to work with people on their resumes and get them hooked up with our volunteer department so they can get experience if that's what they want. I hire a lot of former volunteers, especially young adults who were teen volunteers who need their first real job. Sometimes I have to speak with people who applied and were not interviewed because they want feedback, or they just want to complain to me. Whatever, it's part of the job and I'm always happy to give feedback if it will be utilized. One woman, Linda, has applied for several jobs and has never been hired. She's a regular customer who's rude to my staff and who clearly doesn't know how to use a computer. Nothing wrong with being computer illiterate, but that's a lot of what we do. Help people with computers when they don't know how to use them. It's a key skill for our staff. Anyway, Linda demanded to know why didn't I interview her. I explained that we had a lot of candidates who had worked or volunteered in libraries before. She claimed that I was unfairly giving preference to candidates that have experience. I was speechless at that point. What other metric am I supposed to use to hire people, if not relevant experience? I feel like all Linda wanted was an easy commute and a decent paying job without having any of the backing qualifications. I don't really understand how she would react if she was the hiring manager. I'm pretty sure hiring those who are qualified. This next one is from Chaos King 1081. So I'm at ACL, Associated Clinical Laboratories, yesterday to get some blood work done. Now, during COVID, a few locations had been shut down and haven't opened back up yet. Because of this, other locations have longer wait times than usual, and making an appointment is encouraged, but walk-ins are accepted. A man anywhere from his late 60s to mid-70s comes through the doors and begins to check in around 1 p.m. ACL's business hours are 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., and this is the conversation that takes place. Our cast is the old man and ACL worker. "Is 2 o'clock really the earliest time I can be seen?" "Sir, did you have an appointment?" "No, I don't." "Then I'm afraid so. We currently have 15 appointments, plus however many walk-ins, but if anybody fails to show up, we'll move people up." "You have to be kidding me. I can't afford to sit and wait an hour. You're going to have to move my time up." "Sir, I apologize, but I can't do that. There are people who booked appointments and walk-ins that arrived before you, and it wouldn't be fair to them. You're more than welcome to try another location or make an appointment for tomorrow." I guess the old man didn't like hearing that because he turned around and stormed out while muttering something under his breath. And senior citizens love to talk about how entitled the younger generation is. To be frank, I think entitlement just runs in every single generation. It doesn't matter if you're a senior citizen or just out of the womb. Either way, you can have the chance to be entitled, and it's a matter of how you handle yourself and also how you're raised, I think, that plays a big role in that. This next one is from Chonky Railway. Alright, so when I, 17 female, was dating my ex-boyfriend, 19 male, maybe 20 now, I was 16 and he was 18, and let's call him Joe for this story. Joe and I dated for almost 2 years, and I want to skip a lot of our relationship history, but I need to keep some in for context. A couple of months before me and him broke up, he was becoming more and more toxic, and his everyday goal was to crush my self-confidence and try to make me do everything he says. And if I refused, he'd try to blackmail me by leaking my pics and spreading rumors about me. Now, our relationship was far from perfect. We had a 3 or 4 month break from each other. Anyways, so we had an argument about me not wanting to send him a pic, and he has no right to force me to do something I don't want to, nor feel comfortable about doing. I told him I wasn't going to do it, and the reason behind it was that I felt disgusting, and I am very insecure and isn't comfortable sending any types of pics, even just selfies. So he goes full on tantrum mode, saying I don't love him and that only if I loved him, I'd listen to him. I explained once again why I wasn't gonna send him a pic, and then he said it. The title of this story: "I don't care what you think, send me a pic, or I swear to God, I'll send your pics to my other ex-boyfriend, whom I dated while me and Joe had our break, and someone I don't like." I was shocked by this answer. I didn't know what to say, so I just didn't respond. The next day, he just texted me as nothing happened, but I still didn't answer. I was upset. Joe, the man who had saved my life from committing suicide by calming me down, the man who comforted me in my darkest times, now says he don't care what I think? I was heartbroken, and we haven't really talked ever since. I don't want him to ever bring my self-esteem down again. And I've sort of realized a small reason of why I wanted to commit suicide was because of him and his constant cheating, lying, teasing, verbal abuse, and just possessive personality. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but why not? The damage he did is already done, I guess. I want people to realize people like him aren't worth it. There's people in the world who will treat you much better than someone like him. Edit: I've seen a lot of comments and they were not nudes, literally just selfies. He did ask for feet pics though, and yes, he had a foot fetish. He also asked for a topless photos, but I never sent him anything like that. I hope this clears some things up. First of all, I'm glad you don't have to deal with him or his toxicity anymore, because quite frankly, toxic people love to drag everybody else down to feel just how they do, and in the end, it's them that's the one with the problem. Keep your head up and keep going forward strong. And our final one is by MSCarn808. My employer was hiring, tech job, fully remote, good salary, excellent benefits, the whole 9 yards. I decided to post about it on Facebook to see if any old friends had any experience in this specific area. Back in 2017, I basically got this job through a hookup, so I figured I would try and pay it forward. The person who actually hooked me up reached out to say his friend didn't have certifications, but was interested in entering the field and is a bright mind. So I agreed to have a call with him, as my employer might consider a promising intern. A day or two before the scheduled call, I text him my Zoom link. He says he doesn't use or have Zoom. I send him my Skype name. Same response. I send him my Slack name. Same response. I tell him to just download Zoom for free. He ignores that statement and just sends his Discord name. Okay, fine. I have Discord too. That'll work. Red flag number 1 for me. We finally have the call. Then more red flags. Doesn't want to be on calls because he has social anxieties. Since it's remote, wants to work 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because he sleeps during the day. Doesn't want to use Google or the web to solve problems because there's too much results, so he needs someone to tell him the answers once. Asked if it was mandatory to attend company events, rare anyway. Again, social anxiety. Needs someone to tell him exactly what content to study for the certification because there's too much content. I told him our team has daily calls at 7 to 7:30 a.m. in our time zone. The rest of the team is in Europe. He asked if we would consider moving it closer to 4 a.m. if he was hired. I give him a couple of resources, tell him to study, I'll let him know if my company ends up going the intern route, and that regardless of if he gets the job or not, he should get certified if he really wants to enter this field. We end the call, and a day or two later I text him, just letting him know that if my employer decides to reach out to you and sends you a Zoom link, just download Zoom and don't try to get them to meet you on Discord. His response was, "If I get the job, I'll bother with those apps." I told my coworker about my communications with him, and we immediately disqualified him from any consideration. So let me get this straight, this guy wants a job, but didn't want to do any of the work to get the job or even lead up to it. It just makes you wonder how much work he'd actually do if he got the job. Probably about the same that he did in the lead up. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled People. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.